off or placed on silent mode for the duration of the ceremony. Throughout the ceremony, you will be given cues to stand and be seated at the appropriate time. As a reminder, during the singing of our national anthem, military members in uniform must stand at attention, and civilians should place their right hand over their hearts. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the presiding officer, Intelligent Chief, 20th Fighters Wing, Major Shira Engstrom, welcome to the retirement ceremony in honor of Tech Sergeant Melinda Steinheiser. I am Technical Sergeant Dasmond Matthews, and I will be your Master of Ceremonies for today's event. Today, the men and women of the 432nd Support Squadron pay special tribute to Sergeant Steinheiser upon her retirement from active duty in the United States Air Force. Recognizing a member who is retiring from a career of long and honorable service is one of the oldest traditions in the military. A retirement ceremony is a prestigious event and the highest honor we can give a retiring Air Force member. This ceremony is used to say thank you for the faithful service, to wish good luck in future endeavors, and to bid a heartfelt farewell as the member transitions into the Air Force retirement. Through this transition, we must remember that military retirement is just an extension of an active duty career, and that retired members will continue to be a valued part of the United States Air Force community. Today, we continue this tradition. We also recognize and acknowledge the many sacrifices Mr. Joseph Steinheiser has made. We recruit individuals, but retain families. At this time, we would like to start a few moments to welcome the family and friends of Technical Sergeant Steinheiser. Please hold all applause until the end. We are honored to have in attendance Sergeant Steinheiser's husband, Joseph Steinheiser, her sons, Darius, Tayton, Anderson, and Damien, her nephew, Keegan Steinheiser, family friends, Chief Master Sergeant Gregory Gutson, United States Air Force retired, and other family members and friends joining us virtually. We would also like to welcome our military and civilian distinguished guests in attendance. The Commander, 432nd Mission Support Group, Colonel Dinah Quantico, and husband, Joseph Quantico. Senior Enlisted Leader, 432nd Mission Support Group, Chief Master Sergeant Renee Valdez. And Senior Enlisted Leader, 432nd Squadron, Chief Master Sergeant Ronald Quick. And welcome to all Squadron Commanders, Chief Master Sergeants, First Sergeants, and Airmen in attendance today. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the arrival of the official party and remain standing for the singing of the national anthem and the invocation.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we marched were so gallant each stream, and the rocket's bright glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
see Mindy retire. I've known Mindy 18 years. We go way back. He was an airman first class, came into my unit. Didn't know what to think of me as a first sergeant, chief master sergeant, but I think we got over those hurdles. And it's just a wonderful day that I get to see this young lady that has excelled in everything she's done. And now she's preparing to go into her new career, and she's gonna do even better at that. Because one thing you learn about Mindy, she's resilient, and she overcomes obstacles, and she finds ways to get things done. So it's truly an honor for me and my wife, retired Chief Necda, to be here and to give this invocation. Let us pray. Dear Lord, today we are here to honor Tech Sergeant Mindy Steinheiser and thank her and her family for their 20 years of loyal and dedicated service to our great nation. Tomorrow she begins a new life with a bright future in service to folks at Opportunity Village. Lord, we ask that you look over her and her family as they move forward into a new and exciting future that only you know where it will lead them. We ask you that you bless her and her family with a long and loving journey on this path. In the scriptures, Psalm 71, 5-8, we read, "For you, O Lord, are my hope, my trust. O Lord, from my youth, upon you I have leaned from my birth. It was you who took me from my mother's womb. My praise is continually of you. My mouth is filled with your praise, and with glory all day long." Heavenly Father, we ask that you bestow upon Mindy great and bountiful success in her new journey. We ask that you keep her and her family safe in your loving embrace and protect them from all evil. In your most holy name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Chief Lutton and Senior Union Navy. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. We are pleased to have with us today our presiding official, Major Ingstrom.
No, that makes sense. Good afternoon, everyone. Before I begin, I want to say thank you, Colonel Monaco, Chiefs, it's a pretty awesome power couple right there. Retired Colonel Steinheiser, and to all the distinguished visitors, family, friends, last but not least, Joe, trying to go in order, Hayden Anderson, Damian, Darius, Keegan, and last but not least, Sergeant Steinheiser. Thank you so much for letting me be a part of this ceremony. It's one of the cool opportunities about being an officer is that we get to be a part of these type of ceremonies. And when you get asked to officiate, it's the honor like greatens exponentially. And then when it is for someone who you adore, who you respect, and just think the world of, it is an amazing honor. So thank you, Steiny. I greatly appreciate it. I hope I'm able to do your career justice. Please forgive all of my notes, but she sent me 30 attachments, y'all. 30. That's a lot, right? So 30 attachments. And so, although I would love to be one of those really cool people who have the world's smallest note card, when you are trying to honor over 20 years of service, I find it to be impossible to put all of the things I want to say on a small note card. So, true to my Kentucky roots, I have, which is where we met, I have all of my shredded note paper here to try to capture, and I hope I'm able to do you justice. But I think before I begin this, we just got to talk about, like, you made it, right? Like, this is the goal, this is the dream. Can you, what are the odds? I know. That's what happens when you invite an Intel nerd to the party, I show the numbers. So, fun fact, less than 10 to 15% of the population in the United States is veterans. So 10 to 15% of the entire population is veterans, and we forget because we've been in a military community for so long that we just think we all are, but less than 15%. So if we're being, optimistic, we'll say 15%. Of that 15%, only 17% actually make it to retirement, right? So now you're 17% of 10%, so you're at like a 0.17%. Again, total nerd, I'm going farther, taking it farther, y'all. But now on top of this, we're not talking to any veteran, we're now talking to a female veteran, all right? And that lowers the percentage because females only occupy 1% of veteran, 1 to 1.5% of the veteran population, and even less make it to retirement, right? So you are now looking at 0.001% of the population who's going to have the honor of being a retired female veteran. Okay, that's amazing. When people say that you're 1 in a million, it's so that's what we're doing, right? You're making it to that level, but today isn't actually about your retirement, right? This is your retirement, but the point of today is now to look back, to remember, to honor all the achievements that you've done in your 20-something years. So I'll begin it by a quote by Emerson. He said, "Life is about the journey, not the destination." Or at least that's who's being given credit for, right? So now if we turn it to the military, you know, your journey, your destination is the retirement, but now let's look at that journey and all the ups and downs that you went through. And I'm not gonna read all 30 attachments, although tempting. But we are gonna go all the way back to the beginning, but we're actually gonna go before the year 2000 when she joined the military. I'm gonna take it back to 1993, all right? Yep, we're going back, we're going way back, all right? And we have about 11, 12-year-old Mindy who went by Mouse. Yeah, they gotta remember that one. She went by Mouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. She's the youngest of 6 sisters and 2 brothers. She had a single mother, or has a single mother, sorry, past tense. She has a single mom. And what's interesting is Siamese first language isn't exactly English, it's actually American Sign Language, which is a pretty amazing fact about her, that she's completely fluent. So it's awesome to see her randomly run into somebody and just instantly go to signing. Very cool, and my son thinks you're a superhero for being able to do that. And by the way, my son wanted me to start this with, congratulations, you're finally rid of the Air Force. So anyway, we're back around 93, and her sister, now retired Tech Sergeant Christina Peak, there you are. Well, you came home with some braces, and 12-year-old Steiny was like, or I guess Mouse at the time was like, did they give you braces? Serious. It's funny because like we just came from an ROTC detachment where you always talk to people like, why did you join the Air Force? Was it education or to see the world? Nay, not young Mindy, okay? Because first her sister came out with braces. Then she took it one step farther and showed up with some new Doc Martens on. And then what got one Melinda Heinrich into the Air Force was you showed up with a new SUV. She was like, good night. She got her teeth looking great. She has the Doc Martens on, and she is in an SUV. And so little does the Air Force know, we need to change our recruiting strategy. Instead of showing pictures of like RPAs and things like that, you just need to pull up with some nice, beautiful teeth and drive in an SUV, and then you will get outstanding airmen like Steiny. So I just thought it was funny because I'd never met anybody who gave us those reasons. So
they changed over time.
Which is funny because her smile is beautiful. So obviously you got that one. And you're driving a new SUV. You got your Doc Martens?
No.
2 out of 3. So we'll take it forward a few years to 14 December of 2000, and that is when 17-year-old Mindy Heinrich joined the United States Air Force. All right, after her basic training and her initial skills training, she went to Spangdahlem, Germany, for your country. Not an idea there. Okay, she joined with outbound assignments. Here's what's amazing, okay, because you have this young girl, fresh out of Cincinnati, Ohio, and lowest ranking on the team, but she quickly became the go-to person, right? She quickly upgraded. She became Airman of the Quarter, top performer. She was hand recognized as the person who helped propel her team to get the best MPF in the United States Air Force European Command in 2001. Right, so she was singled out as being a key contributor. But on top of that, and this is what's really funny, is she volunteered to deploy for Operation Southern Watch in Kuwait as security forces, which they gave her a gun. So she volunteered to deploy to Operation Southern Watch, and that was her first deployment. So she spent a few years there in Germany, and then she moved to Nellis. All right, I gotta be honest, a 21-year-old brand new at Nellis, your first year was rough. But here is what I want to say about it. And we don't want to talk about hiccups too much, but the reason why I want to talk about how in 2003, she hit a stumble. And she got marked pretty far down on her EPR. In fact, I believe yours is the only one I saw who ever made that EPR and managed to make it to retirement age, right? You hit a stumble. What was amazing in that wasn't that she stumbled, because we all been 21, we just didn't get caught. I think we can all agree, right? She got caught. But what's amazing about her stumble isn't that it occurred, but that in that same EPR where the stumble occurred, somebody wrote, "Shining light in darkest hour." Ooh, I didn't know I was complimenting the author. And in 2 years' time, she had moved up to perfect, 0 markdowns on her EPR. And you were recognized as, let me get the title right because I don't want to mess this up. You were recognized as, I really got to work on my penmanship, the 57th Wing and Nellis Air Force Base Personnel Manager of the Year. So of the entire base, she
No,
won.
the whole entire, sorry, I have to brag because that's.
She needs to There you go.
All personnel, all
You
over.
should, right? So yes, so that 2003 happened. But what's amazing about you is 2003 didn't get you now. Because 2004 came, and that was over. And now, you're a whole new person. What made better in 2004 was that a certain gentleman came into her life. He loves it when we bring him up in public. I'll talk about him for a few minutes. But she met Joe at a trampoline park, which I guess why not, right? She met him at a trampoline park. He instantly was amazed by how beautiful she is, asked her out, and she promptly stood him up. As you see, they ran into each other about a month later, and but also at that time is she found out that she was going to be a mom. So they said they were going to just be friends, and you see that worked out because in 2005 they both welcomed a handsome son, Tayton, and started growing their family together. Right? Also during that time at Nellis, not to get too far away from work, but you managed to keep all your team's expenses on time with only 30% manning. You helped stand up a new F-22 squadron, which of course now, F-22s are fake news now. I'm a Viper girl, so you helped stand up a F-22 squadron, and you helped in process over 300 people. You won Leader of the Pack 5 times in a row. You managed over 750 personnel information files, and again, it was written an absolutely superior senior airman. So again, this is the same unit, right? So this isn't even that she PCA to a different unit, so we erased memory, right? Because a lot of times when people have stumbled, that's what we do to try to help them out. We move them to a different unit. She was able to do all that within the same unit. Amazing, amazing, right? So then from there, oh, and then at the end, I have to put this in because I just finished a UEI, a unit engagement inspection. They are painful. Your team got 100% compliance, which is not something I can stand here and say today about my team, unfortunately. Amazing job. From there, 2006, you also pinned on Staff Sergeant. You also welcomed Anderson to the family. So now their family's grown even more, and you moved to Randolph Air Force Base in Texas, and you became an assignments technician, where your primary responsibilities were tracking EPRs. And here's what's amazing is your team had 97% on time rate, which again is another thing I cannot brag about my team, since I'm probably about half that right now, don't tell my boss. And it was the unit's highest rate ever, so amazing. You also worked in military retirement pay, so hopefully all your hard work also went to your team here so they can make sure your pay's right. And you had 100% accuracy. You moved on to the military, to AFPC, the Air Force Personnel Center, where you're a military personnel ops technician. And you remedied a 6-year backlog within the first few months on station. Which, 6 years? That you fixed it, right? And then you helped lead the team to outstanding inspection. Here's what's amazing. You can always tell somebody's worth when you're going through their records. There's a whole lot of individual awards, you know they did a great job, right? You know, okay, yeah, they did some stuff. But when every time they're recognized as a reason their team won, that's when you know you have a real asset, right? Because not only was she winning, she was making sure her team got there, right? Soon she deployed on her second deployment, so she left Joe and her 2 children behind, and she went on Operation Enduring Freedom to Kyrgyzstan. She was there 4 months. She actually got reprimanded for volunteering and helping out the community too much because she served so many hours in the hospital that she was growing attached. They had to like cut her off on her volunteer work. But she did more than that. Here's a litmus. She served only 4 months, and she came away with an accommodation medal, which is fairly unheard of at that rank. Typically, you see achievement medals. Typically, you don't see them out of 4-month deployment, right? But she, 4 months, junior ranked staff sergeant. She came with a commendation medal. She maintained accountability of over 1,200 airmen, and she breached standards to over 40,000 transient warfighters. Huge impact. From there, she came back home. She went to the retirement processing technician. So again, I hope that work is really going to be paid forward here. You did over 2,000 retirement packages, right? And then what happens? 2010, deployed again. Operation Unified Response for the Haiti earthquake. What's amazing about this one is it happened so quickly and they needed volunteers quickly. And so even though it comes at a great personal cost, because you know that she has 2 young sons, and if we know anything, who brought the bad kid here? It's fine, sorry. It's okay. But they had to stand up immediately to get that help. And even though it comes at great personal cost, because the one thing we all know about Sadie, she's an amazing mother, a truly devoted family member. But she knew that it was the right thing to do, so she went down to Haiti to help earthquake victims. She processed over 1,800 duty status updates, and she maintained full accountability for 937 airmen. She helped build a bare bones base, and on top of that, she also volunteered in the community, which basically what helped grow the rest of her family, because that's where she realized how much she wants to help children who need a family. And she really started to think about how she wanted to get involved in the foster care system. After that, she came back. She still managed to process over 5,800 retirement applications before she came on back home to Nellis and went to the and became a force management superintendent. There, she managed over 225 UIS. She led her team in winning the ACC 2011 Garrett Foster Award. So again, another team contribution winning. And then what happens again? She goes right back to Kuwait. She was a career development superintendent where she ran the BTZ program. I told you guys, 30 attachments. I'm really only taking 2 bullets from each one. That's how many amazing things she did. And she directed over 5,000 system updates and fixed over 500 errors. Really impressive. In 2014, she got her first NCOIC role for the Command Support Squadron in Red Horse. There we go. I know, very proud of Red Horse. All caps, that's how you know it's important.
Yes.
where you processed over 2,000 deployers, and then in 2015, right back to a deployment where she went to Qatar for Operation Freedom Sentinel. While she was there, she helped input over 2,600 movement orders within 9 different countries. She redeployed 222 members. There we go, other side. She actually led the ADVON team to get out there, and then she validated 130 orders throughout the AOR. So again, huge impact. And what happens next? Where'd you go next? 2015. Came on back to Kentucky. Well, not back. She went to the University of Louisville, DET 295, and that's actually where our paths crossed. She was the NCOIC of personnel. Small team, but huge impact. If you all don't know much about Air Force ROTC, but that's where we make future officers. So you take these young, baby-faced college kids and you help to train them and make them into the commissioned officers who will go on to do great things. Her role in that detachment is of so much importance because she is their only interaction with enlisted people. Her and the one other NCO on the team, they are responsible for over 50 Air Force officers and their first impressions of what the enlisted force structure looks like, how they should carry themselves, the professionalism, the standards. She helped give them all that. Actually, my favorite moment, well, we got a few, but our first exciting trip together is when we went for our recruiting. Remember when we went down like middle of nowhere, Kentucky for our big recruitment? And we were so impressed with ourselves because I was new on the team and her and I were going on a road trip and we were like, man, we're gonna recruit some people, they're just gonna flock to our table. And so we ran in and we found this like random warehouse that we just like barged in and we set up this table and we had like flyers up and
we ate donuts.
yeah, we ate their donuts and we were eating their food and we realized like it seemed odd, but it didn't seem like there was many other recruiting people. There was definitely no other military people there. We were in the wrong location.
And we ate their donuts.
Yes. Just take it out.
Don't leave me directions. I don't know where to go.
When I was looking at posts, I found one quote that said, like, never trust a private with a loaded weapon or an officer with a map. But I was like, I can't use that quote because neither one of us should have a map. Especially the time we got lost on campus for an hour and
Yes.
never found a subway. I don't know like which one of us was worse. But that was like kind of our first road trip. We did eventually find a recruiting thing. We did not recruit anybody. It was a 50% crowd. One girl talked about how she used to hide out in the barn to jump out and scare her brother.
Yeah, it was weird.
It was weird, but it definitely helped develop us as a team. Yeah, there's so many stories that I could tell about our time at U of L, about the time that we tried to race our teammates. They were driving back from lunch, but I was convinced that we could beat them on foot because I was just determined that they were lazy.
We had just ate like a million tacos.
We had eaten a lot, and I was like, I can beat you back. And of course, Steiny is my consummate wingman. She's like, we're on it. And next thing you know, we're sprinting across campus. She's like grabbing her stomach. I'm telling her to get her head in the game. And like, we're tripping across the grass. And of course, we pull up, and all those pumps were like this. Like, I was like, ah. But, oh well. In the end, they were lazy. So you may, out of that, and here's, again, I've talked about how she's propelled teams this whole time. When you got to U of L, I don't know if you realize, but we were number 47 and 48 detachments in the region. We were in the southeastern region, which is the largest region. We occupied the proud spot of not being University of South Carolina. So we only beat out one debt, number 47. By the time she left, we were number 1. Yes, and we won number 1 3 years in a row. So 2 years when she was there, and then the processes she built helped propel us to number 1 the 3rd year. Amazing. And if you don't think that it was 90% her hard work, then you don't know how much the NCOs do at ROTC. She's responsible for everything. Everything except for showing up to teach. And then even then, you actually helped me out a lot of that. She's only like teammate who showed up to almost all my classes. And also while you were at U of L, you finally realized your dream of getting involved with the foster care program. And you welcomed two new Steinheisers to the bunch. Damien and Darius joined the crew. And she did more than just welcome new team members. She helped out in the community. Remember when you forced me to go fold scarves for the Breast Cancer Society? You made me go to the food bank. So not only was she like helping out with community, but she was forcing me to try to be a better person. You did say pretty early on that you were going to force yourself into my life, and so you've succeeded at this point. Also, before she left, her last quarter there, and it's hard to say like how big of a deal this is because you're thinking NCO of the quarter, a lot of people win it. She won at the group level. This is amongst 14 states. I don't even know, a couple hundred NCOs, and she was chosen the best. So she's now in the best NCO. All while growing her family and being an active mom and a brilliant member of the community. So she viciously left us in 2019, and there were real tears, not just by our team, but by me personally, by my son, who I think might want to leave me to join your family as well. And you moved back here to Creech, which is a great thing, right? Because then you all can get back to family and be where you wanted to be. You became the flight chief of the CSS, where you led 28 airmen. You created a new security and processing procedure where you reduced redundancies by 75%. And then you also helped support Operation Freedom Sentinel, because I know you all saw the RPAs over there, and they're doing steady state operations. And she helped support over 37,000 combat hours. So again, amazing, amazing career, which brings us to today. Yeah, we did it, right? Like I did. We did it. But I started out with numbers, and I'm a nerd, so I'm going to end with numbers, right? So here is a summary of just the amazing things. Your total amount of days in the Air Force, 7,746 days. It's amazing. 4 achievement medals, 6 commendation medals, a CCAF, a bachelor's in health education, a beautiful, beautiful family, 4 handsome sons, a very handsome nephew. You all are the epitome of what we like to see. You finished up your career, but you've maintained a strong family balance. Winston Churchill said, "This is not the end. It's not even the beginning of the end, but it is perhaps the end of the beginning." So that's where we're at, right? You've ended this part of your career. It is not a shock to anybody in this room that you've now chosen a civilian career where you can continue to help out the community. I know that you are gonna be brilliant. I know that you're gonna do great things. When she left U of L, she gave me a keychain. And on one side it said, "I'll never forget you," and on the other side it said, "I'll never let you forget me." And I wanna say that that was never gonna happen. You're more than a former teammate, you're more than a former senior NCO or NCOIC. You are practically a sister at this point. I love you more than anything. Thank you so much for allowing me to talk probably too long. And I still didn't cover half of the great things you did. But you're amazing. I hope you always remember how gifted you are and how much you bring to any team, which has been evident through all this. I hope that when you look back on your career, that you feel extreme pride in everything you accomplished, because seriously, your journey has been amazing. Your growth is amazing. Just the people in this crowd are a testament to everything you've done. So thank you so much, and I will finally shut up.
Thank you, Major Ingstrom. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the presentation of the Meritorious Service Medal and remain standing for the reading of the retirement order.
Publish the orders.
Attention to orders. This is to certify that the President of the United States of America, authorized by Executive Order 16 January 1969, has awarded the Meritorious Service Medal to Technical Sergeant Melinda D. Steinheiser for meritorious service from 15 June 2017 to 31 January 2022. Technical Sergeant Melinda D. Steinheiser distinguished herself in the performance of outstanding service to the United States. The singularly distinctive accomplishments of Sergeant Steinheiser culminate in a distinguished career in the service of her country and reflect great credit upon herself and the United States Air Force.
Nailed it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will now continue with the reading of the retirement orders.
Publish the orders.
Attention to orders. Department of the Air Force, Washington, D.C., Special Order Number AC 005499, dated 15 April 2021. Retirement of Technical Sergeant Melinda D. Steinheiser, Military Personnel Section, 432nd Support Squadron, Creech Air Force Base, Nevada, is relieved from active duty effective 1 February 2022. Technical Sergeant Melinda D. Steinheiser is retired in the grade of E6 effective 1 February 2022 by the order of the Secretary of the Air Force. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated to commemorate her retirement. Major Ingstrom will now present Sergeant Steinheiser with a certificate of retirement. It reads, "To all who shall see these presents, greeting. This is to certify that Technical Sergeant Melinda D. Steinheiser, having served faithfully and honorably, was retired from the United States Air Force on the first day of February 2022. Signed, General Charles Q. Brown, Chief of Staff of the Air Force, and Colonel Eric C. Schmidt, Commander 432nd Wing." Sergeant Steinheiser has received a letter of appreciation from the President of the United States. It reads, "I extend to you my personal thanks and the sincere appreciation of our grateful nation for your contribution of honorable service to our country. You have helped maintain the security of the nation during a critical time in its history. with a devotion to duty and a spirit of sacrifice in keeping with the proud traditions of military service. I trust that in the coming years, you will maintain an active interest in the armed forces and the purpose for which you've served. Those who follow in your footsteps will draw inspiration from your commitment, dedication, and sacrifices made to ensure the protection of our American freedoms. My best wishes to you for happiness and success in the future. Signed, Joseph R. Biden, Commander-in-Chief. Sergeant Steinheiser has received a letter of appreciation from the Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force. It reads, I am proud to join your friends and family in congratulating you on your retirement from the United States Air Force. Technical Sergeant Melinda Steinheiser, the achievements and contributions you have made throughout your career are indicative of the core values of our great service. Your retirement is well deserved, but your selfless contributions will sorely be missed. On behalf of all airmen, thank you for your faithful and devoted service to our nation. As this chapter in your life closes and a new one begins, I hope the years ahead are filled with more great memories and continued success. Signed, Joanne S. Bass, Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force. Ladies and gentlemen, Joseph has received a certificate of appreciation from the Air Force. Sir, will you please come? It reads, in grateful appreciation, the United States Air Force presents this certificate of recognition to Mr. Joseph Steinheiser for the commitment and numerous contributions that made positive impacts to the nation's defense. Thank you for the support which gave strength and purpose to your spouse's service. Signed, General Charles Q. Brown, Chief of Staff of the Air Force, and Colonel Eric C. Schmidt, Commander, 432nd Wing. Joseph has also received a certificate of appreciation from the Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force. It reads, I join your spouse, family, and friends in thanking you for the numerous contributions and sacrifices you made in support of our United States Air Force. Your dedication gave strength and purpose to your spouse's service in defense of our nation. Signed, Joanne S. Bass, Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force. At this time, we invite Sergeant Steinheiser's sons, Darius, Tayton, Anderson, and Damien to the stage for a very special recognition. Come on, y'all.
Keegan, you better get up here too.
And Keegan. Sergeant Steinheiser's children have each received a certificate of appreciation from the United States Air Force. It reads, for your outstanding commitments as sons, due to your love, faithfulness, and flexibility, you have provided unwavering support to your family. Without your steadfast understanding and resiliency, the successful operation of this family would be hindered. For you served as its vital part and continue to do so every day. This award is to express the gratitude which each of you deserve and the inexhaustible love that is engraved in the hearts of the ones whom you have most affected. Thank you, Joseph, Darius, Tayton, Anderson, and Damien. And Keegan. And Keegan. The Creech ceremonial team will perform a flag folding ceremony at this time. For more than 200 years, the American flag has been the symbol of our nation's unity, as well as a source of pride and inspiration for millions of citizens. Born on June 14, 1777, the Second Continental Congress determined that the flag of the United States be 13 stripes, alternating between 7 red and 6 white, and that the Union be 13 stars, white and a blue field, representing a new constellation. Between 1777 and in 1960, the shape and design of the flag evolved into the flag presented before you today. The 13 horizontal stripes represent the original 13 colonies, while the stars represent the 50 states of the Union. The colors of the flag are symbolic as well. Red symbolizes hardiness and valor, white signifies purity and innocence, and blue represents vigilance, preservance, and justice. Traditionally, a symbol of liberty, the American flag has carried the message of freedom and inspired Americans both at home and abroad. In 1814, Francis Scott Key was so moved at seeing the stars and stripes wavering after the British shelling of Baltimore's Fort McHenry that he wrote the words of the Star-Spangled Banner. In 1892, the flag inspired Francis Bellamy to write the Pledge of Allegiance, our most famous flag, salute, and patriotic oath. In July 1969, the American flag was flown in space when Neil Armstrong planted it on the surface of the moon. Today, our flag flies as a constellation of Air Force satellites that circle around the globe, and on the fin flash of our aircraft in harm's way in every corner of the world. Indeed, it flies in the heart of every airman who serves our great nation. The sun never sets on our U.S. Air Force, nor on the flag we so proudly cherish. Since 1776, no generation of Americans have been spared the responsibility of defending freedom. Today's airmen remain committed to preserving the freedom of that others won for us, for generations to come. By displaying the flag and giving it a distinctive fold, we show respect to the flag and express our gratitude to those individuals who fought and continue to fight for freedom at home and abroad. Since the dawn of the 20th century, airmen have proudly flown the flag in every major conflict on lands and skies around the world. It is their responsibility, our responsibility, to continue to protect and preserve the rights, privileges, and freedoms that we, as Americans, enjoy today. The United States flag represents who we are. It stands for the freedom we all share and the pride and patriotism we feel for our country. We cherish its legacy as a beacon of hope to one and all. Long may it wave. Steinheiser and Mindy helped personally? Raise your hand. How many of you have been impacted by her during a hard time or even a good one? How many of you know you can count on her during any time of the day. How many of you consider her a mentor? How many of you know you can count on her and have been impacted by her through trial, error, any time of the day, any time of the night? She cooked for you, her kids, her family, just any type of way. Guys. Did you see all those hands, ma'am? Mindy, you have impacted us all in some type of way, shape, or form. An EPR bully couldn't stand up against that. You have touched so many people in here, and I was personally impacted by you and Joe and the kids. I could never repay you for that. God can though. I can repay for it. Thank you for being a father figure and a mother figure during the time that I needed you both. Personally, she was my first NCOIC at Red Horse when I first entered the Air Force, and I'm honored to stand here, on the last of your days, starting off with you as a mentor, as a supporter, as a mother, as a friend, as the NCOIC. Thank you for all the things that you've done for me. I always say the things that people do from the heart are the things that don't go on official documents. She didn't capture all of the things that you really did for people personally. We celebrate you today, me, Shaki Hall. We love you and thank you, Mother Goose. As she said, the best NCO, Major Ingram said. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me a great honor to introduce today's honoree, Technical Sergeant Melinda D. Steinheiser, United States Air Force, retired!
I wanted to say thank you, Major Ingram, for coming all the way out here from South Carolina to do this for me. I'm kind of upset that you didn't mention my Nicki Minaj gift that I got you. Because I thought that was like the best gift ever. So, and she said that I brought her house value down just by using it in her bathroom after PT. So I don't know. Anyhow, thank you so much. You will never ever know what you've done for me. I love you, and I'm so thankful for everything. Even though I love to talk and I love to be the center of attention, I'm going to try to keep this short and simple. Everyone here knows how much I love and appreciate them. I wouldn't be standing here today with the audience, support, and relationships that I've built with each and every one of you, here and everywhere. I've had amazing leaders throughout my career to teach me the right and the wrong way to lead. My career has for sure had some rough patches, but also some great experiences. The rough patches just reminded myself that everything happens for a reason, and everything is a learning experience, and every day is a new day. I am so thankful that I have been able to serve my country for the last 21 years. I consider myself blessed to be a part of this service, and I was proud to put on this uniform every single day. I wanted to talk about every single person in this room that has touched me and has influenced me, and I wanted to talk about how amazing each and every one of you are, but we would be here for ages. But there are a few people that I do want to mention. Leslie Hilton, Senior Master Sergeant retired, actually came out last week, and we spent quite a few days together. Was a very good senior NCO, and she developed me into the person that I am today. She was a true leader. She helped me with organizing my bills and how to write a check, and she was phenomenal. And when I did go through that rough time in 2003, she was the one that told me to get my head out of my butt and get there. Second is Chief Gutson. I wouldn't be here today without him. When I thought that I wasn't gonna make it, I gotta thank you, honey. When I thought I wasn't gonna make it, and I didn't think I was good enough, he told me otherwise. When I was at my lowest point in my life, he wouldn't let me fail. And I am so thankful for you. And all these years that you've stayed in my life, and you will never understand how grateful I am for you. And then Major Engstrom, which I've already spoke about earlier. Those are the 3 best leaders I've ever had in my whole career, and I'm so thankful. So thank you. Next, I have to thank my sister Christina. Thank you for being the role model that got me here today. I looked up to you always, and I still look up to you. I wouldn't be here without you, without you. I'm so thankful that you chose the Air Force as your career, so I could follow in your footsteps. Our life wasn't always easy, but we made it. And I'm thankful for you. And all my sisters, we have such a close relationship, and I'm so thankful for you. To my boys, I know that I drive you crazy. And vice versa, you drive me just as crazy. But everything that I do is for you. Every time I wake up in the morning is for you. You mean the world to me. I know it wasn't always easy with me being gone and moving all over the place, but I appreciate your strength. I love you so much, and thank you for being so strong. And I'm proud of each and every one of you, and I'm so thankful that I am your mother. You're gonna do great things in this world, and I'm so proud. Last but not least, Joe, babe, there aren't even enough words or emotion to express how much I love and appreciate you. The past 17 years with you have been the best years of my life, and I'm so excited for our future. You keep me grounded when I needed you the most. You kept me on the straight and narrow, and I couldn't have done this without you. And I love you more than words will ever say. My airmen, that's all of you. Amaya is my baby girl too back there. Airman Woolley, sorry. My airmen. I'm so proud of you and everything that you have done since I've worked with you. Please remember that I love you and I'm always here for you. Always to remember to treat people the way that you want to be treated. Remember to be respectful and loyal, and that will get you a very long way. My squad that flew in, we were in Red Horse together. I've been the closest friends I've ever had. I love you so much and thank you. Finally, for my family back home that is watching, my stepmother, my mother, my dad, my sisters, and my brother, I love you so much and thank you for everything. I love you. I wanted to end my ceremony with what I've been doing for the last couple months. I wanted to give you a glimpse of what my next chapter in life has in store. I did the SkillBridge program, and it's the best thing anybody can do when they're ready to retire or separate take advantage of this program. I'm happier. I loved serving my country, absolutely. But I am happier now than I've ever been with this new job that I have. I feel so fulfilled and happy every day that I go to work. And my students, they made me a video and they wanted me to show it here. So, and this is where I'm working right now.
Congratulations, Mindy. See you soon.
Congratulations, Mindy.
Congratulations, Mindy. We're so excited for you.
It's an honor to have you here. Thank you for doing this.
Hi, since Mindy has joined our JDP team, she has been nothing short of phenomenal. She's jumped right in and really just made it her own. The students adore her, and we just love having her in JDP with us. She is phenomenal, comes in every single day with a ready, can-do attitude, and she really wants to see these students succeed, which is really the heart of the JDP program, is just our students and how phenomenal they are and how much they adore her is great to see every day. Thanks, Mindy.
Congratulations, Mandy.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Mindy. You know what? I'm going to miss you.
Appreciate everybody. Thank you for coming. And I love you all so much. And I appreciate everything you did.
Thank you, sir, Ms. Steinheiser. We of Creech Air Force Base are proud to have served with Sergeant Steinheiser and her family. We wish them continued success and Godspeed. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the playing of the Air Force song and the departure of the Infantry Choir.
We don't have the audio for that, so for all of everybody who knows the words, those in uniform, if you'll join in. Off we go into the wild blue yonder, climbing high into the sun. Here they come, soon to meet our thunder, bad boys, give it the gun. Down we dive, spouting our flames from